NASCAR Chat Series race number 4 is our first trip of the year, our third trip overall. Talladega Super Speedway. Let's see. 2 previous winners at this track. Ash won the first race, this time last year. Travis Pastrana won his 3rd race of the year in the inaugural Chat Series. Neither one of those cars, you could say, qualified particularly well. Ash was okay, middle of the pack. And Travis Pastrana is somewhere, I'm sure, but I don't exactly see where. Where is Travis? Is he not no, he's back there. He's back there. He's up on the high side. 188 laps at Talladega. 0 fast repairs. Stage 1 ends at lap 60. And Yo Gamer, your Daytona 500 winner, will bring the field to green. Coming to the start-finish line to complete lap 1, it's as it was as the Daytona 500 ended, the 56 out in front. And got a middle lane, a high lane, neither one really going too crazy right now, as Aiden actually is looking to freight train his teammate in the 24 here. Sterling Marlin making a move on Yo Gamer, but with very minimal help. Up brings Evo right back up into the mix up front after his teammate to try and leave him out to dry. There's a decent third line up at the top forming. Joe Nemechek, who just is in such bad need of a good result. Joe Nemechek is actually in danger of getting freight trained in points, as Evo's going to take the lead away after Sterling Marlin took the lead away. Freight trained in points. Now, Nemechek has appeared in all 4 races this year. If you go just a few cars back, the 47 made his NASCAR Chat Series debut at the Nürburgring and is, I want to say, like 7 points behind, which is just not very good for Front Row Joe. More shuffling up at the front. The 5 is taking the lead. The good old Super Speedway shuffle here in iRacing is... they're just programmed, for whatever reason, to want to be down on the bottom. Yes, yes you will. Every car will have the banner. Not every car will have... you know, a special patriotic scheme for the Golden 600. Like, obviously, I'm not going to put Evo in nothing but stars and stripes, right? So, with the Pepsi logo on the front of his car, it almost already is. Red, white, and blue, at least. You know, and black. But yeah, like Miss Area or people I don't know, unless it's otherwise requested, I'm just going to leave those as they were, if not for the banner. As Evo and Aiden just continue to kind of squabble up here at the front of the field. Pastrana nearly got shoved out of line by your Atlanta winner in Lucas. There was some very near contact between the 5 and the 24 there. As Aiden is back to the front of the field. And then let's also talk about the 89 of TBNR cars. I believe first in line on the outside. Great Daytona 500 to begin his first ever full campaign in the NCS, but ran out of gas coming to the one to go. So the final result at Daytona did not really show just how good of a race he had, which was unfortunate, but still been an okay year, and he's running up front now. As is your winner last time when we were out here, Travis Pastrana. Well, so much for Travis. Back he goes. Jumped out of line for a third line that is not there. All the way in the back of the field, Ken Schrader leads that third group. Well, that's unfortunate. TBNR cars to the front, 6 laps in. Here at Talladega. Who should we ride on board with? You know what? Simply because she was your winner last time out, and an onboard way back in the pack is way more entertaining than at the front of the field. A lap on board with Nürburgring winner, Hailie Deegan. Well, Pizza Man Brayton Laster been rocking Pizza Ranch throughout the early portions of the season. Here at Talladega, I didn't do a special Talladega Nights like a Ricky Bobby or a Cal Naughton Jr. car. Brayton Laster's carrying Huggalow's Pizza. If you've seen the movie, you get it. Huggalow's Pizza, we are pizza. I gotta say, can we zoom in actually on the back of Brayton's car, because that is on there. Can we just appreciate that for a moment? Actually, let's go to my nose. I'm very proud of that. Front of the field and back to the front, at least for a moment. 24 of Evo, actually, Oraman will lead the lap as the 24 has no help. How is stream audio, by the way? I gotta turn my own car audio down because I feel like I have to scream over the top of it. Well, you don't need to. We good? All right. Don't need to lead laps here in the early going. It will help to put you up on the most laps led leaderboard, which I did not include in the pre-race graphics this time. I actually realized I never did the graphic. I kept track of them after the Nürburgring, but then again, there were only 22 laps to be led. So the mic volume never changes. I might just click down the cars just a tiny bit, see if we can't get that going. And Evo did lead a lap while we were yapping and fixing that. Sadly for the 24, there is not... We don't give out points for leading a lap, but we do give out the 5 points for leading the most laps. We'll take an early look of who might have the fastest lap of the race. I know these times are going to be more or less the same. This early on, I would kind of... What? Who's that for? Anyway, it might be that 49.8. 49.85 for Caleb. I think Caleb's got it. Here in the early going, we're scrambling around to the front of the field here. Everybody changing lines here on lap 11. And yes, NASCAR did used to give out a point just for leading one singular lap. Ah. Faked out we are not. With some good early speed. We do know there's going to be at least one pit stop in every stage. 60 laps in the opening stage, 60 laps in the second. And then we take it all the way to lap 188. No troubles yet. I'm not sure we're really going to expect them. These super speedway races don't tend to be caution fest, but doesn't mean we won't see it. Doesn't mean it's not possible. Usually here on the super speedways, the biggest problems we have are cars running out of gas throughout the course of the lap, or trouble on pit road. We don't bring out yellows generally for trouble on pit road. Obviously, if it called for it, we would. But we do hand out penalties, so don't spin anybody on pit road. That does seem to happen a good bit, mainly at Daytona. But we'll see if anything changes here today. TallaDEEGAN, TBNR cars back to the front. We get a look at Squid up at the front of the field for the first time here today. Can't see him super great right there, but the Red Bull #1 is actually going to make a move for the lead, pushed by Lucas in the 10. And whether it's the 10 car this year or the 9 car last year, Lucas does seem to be up at the front of the field quite a lot here at these super speedway races. So Nemechek hanging on strong, and just behind Nemechek, Ash making her way to the front of the field. And the good news for Ash is, remember when she won this race last year, her scheme did not load in properly. Everybody's has for this race, which is good. Time to slack. Probably a better idea, to be honest, you know. And we've seen it now just about every trip to Daytona, maybe a little less at TallaDEEGAN. But the cars that lead a lot late, I mean, it is a bit of a death sentence because you're out front for so long, burning more fuel, and then it ends up costing you. It cost Evo at Daytona. Everybody should have had enough to make it to the end, and then, unfortunately, not the case. Joe Nemechek to the front. Ash will drop to the bottom into second place. Frankie Muniz, what a race he did have at the Nürburgring. Just couldn't find a way to get it done. Heading into that final S section. And just overcooked it. I don't know if he had like a crazy run or anything like that. But Muniz unable to make the move. Came home second, I do believe. But he's first now. Good news is, I don't believe anybody has lost the draft. I think everybody is still here. Back of the pack is the 32B $. So yes, we still have everybody. Good to see. As we've kind of settled out just a little bit here on lap 16. From the 3 wide that we saw much of the first 10 laps to now, everybody kind of staying patient. Just appears that we're going to ride this out a little bit. Don't want to make any stupidly aggressive moves this early on in the race. When does the NFL season start? Early September. Well, if you count preseason, I suppose August, but the real stuff, September. Coming around to try and lead lap 17 is a TallaDEEGA winner. And much like we finished in TallaDEEGA the first time, me right in behind. Can we just appreciate? Can we just appreciate this 13 car? I don't know what it is. I like the raspberry cream car we had for Daytona. This one, I love it. Neon numbers on the top. Fantastic. Nash lead, El Jefe leading that second line, the middle. Or what was the middle, now is the only other line. Appreciate the 46. We can appreciate the 46 too. No complaints on that. When Ash asked for that scheme, I was a little bit worried. It's like, nobody's made that Kevin Harvick scheme, and I wonder if there's a reason why. But really, that was one of the first ones I did for this season. And, no, really happy with how that turned out. Give some love to the 55. I think I made this scheme in 10 minutes. Probably less. And most of that time was just looking for logos. Uh-oh. To the front of the pack is the 19. What are you doing here? DFL has not worked out very well for Austin yet this year. He's actually been in some spots decent enough for some good finishes. Some have slipped through, haven't been able to truly finish those off, but 19 certainly not where its owner and driver would like it to be in the standings. Far too high. Well, and what a moment. L.W. Wright ran one career NASCAR race. We've been over the story. If you know NASCAR, of course, you already know the story. But it was at this racetrack, TallaDEEGA Superspeedway, that this car ran its only race. L.W. Wright never sniffed the lead on that day. But he's going to come around, try and lead lap 20. Red Wings with other ideas. Pulling to the outside, looking for some help from Timo Quinton, and does lead the lap over L.W. Wright. 47 has made his way up here. That's a couple cars back, so the 47 is safe for now. Black mode is fine. Certainly fanned out back of the pack. We're back to 3 and even 4 wide in some spots. If we go back to Gamer, well, he backed out of that, and probably a smart thing to do. Being 4 wide this early on in the race, just not gonna be a good plan. And I would imagine that we are closing in on people, some cars at least thinking about pitting. I'd think around lap 30 to 33 would be kind of where we should be. But, you know, we saw it at Daytona, some cars just getting off sequence. I wouldn't be surprised if 25 to 30, we at least saw a couple dive down. But that is really what's going to goof up a lot of races today, is just awful pit strategy. Like what we saw at Daytona, and especially in Stage 3, we saw a bunch of cars pitting by themselves, which is just not a formula for success. Pat's back to the front. 3 rookies in the field. The 45 with a run off the back of the 71. Somewhat into that window we were talking about, where I thought pit stops might be a possibility. As of yet, nobody has made that move, and let's be honest with ourselves here, that's probably a good thing. TBNR cars to the front of the field. Red Wings had just one of a few that had just miserable qualifying efforts, just never found friends in qualifying. 3 seconds plus off the pace, as was El Jefe. Nunez and Nemechek getting a little dicey in the back of the pack, and Red Wings has kind of been going to the outside. He was dropping down to the very bottom and then pulling back up and at least leading laps, but now it appears he might just be stuck down there on the bottom. The 06 of Brayton Lester looking for the lead for the first time. Oh, how things change. Evo has gone from up front in, I'd say, about the first quarter of this stage to now the tail end of the pack. But again, at this stage of the race, that is just fine. Oh, did me and Nemechek make a little bit of contact there? Looked like my car wanted to turn around. Bright blue 13 and the Burger King number 87. That didn't look very good back there for a moment. But thanks to only my superior driving ability, we did not wreck half the field there. Just like that, we are back to 2 lines. Looking like a traffic jam in Los Angeles. I think maybe 5-7 laps ago we were 4 wide in some areas. Teammates have found each other back there, the 45 and the 35. Following in behind Ash. They did this at Daytona, too. Like to ride around together. And speaking of teammates, when it did come to the Daytona 500, it was kind of RFK dominance. Well, right now, the only car that has really been up front from the RFK stable is the 89. Everybody else, for the most part, just riding in the back or worse. Let's see, who's the next RFK car? Harry, Gundy, and John Force, they are all 26th or worse. Lap 31, we're making it into that fuel window, I would say. Oh, then again, what was the Daytona fuel window? I think it was longer than we anticipated it being. It might have been 35 to 40 laps. With how tightly packed together everybody still is. Nobody's lost the draft. A lot of cars, especially if you haven't been up front, gonna be able to save fuel for a good while. That would be a problem. Ooh. Didn't like the look of the 14 and the 32 there. So much potential, especially if something happens at the front of the field for something to go catastrophically wrong. Kuzmik in the 14 to the front, pushed by the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Me and Jordo have gotten together. 43 and the 13, 3rd and 4th in line on the outside. Evo's still holding down the back of the field for us. So far, so good, by the way, for the Stewart-Haas cars. The 14 and the 4 are up front. Lucas was up front for a little bit, but he is dropped to the back now, too. But all of them have had speed, and I'm willing to say that I think all of them have led a lap in this race. We are halfway through the opening stage. It's taken us 26 minutes to get to that point. Get to where we are now of race time. Which is good. I never want to be in a situation like we were in the Nürburgring again, even though I did partially influence it. That debris yellow we had called was one of the most painful experiences of my life. I think timed from start to finish, I said it was a 47-minute yellow flag. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will take the lead. Austin and Hailie Deegan are working together. Up on the high side, Caleb gonna come in. Austin and Caleb forming a Hailie Deegan sandwich. 2025 Daytona 500 winner, the 43 to the front, looking, well, she is leading for the first time today, looking to lead a lap for the first time. If anybody's going to have anything to say about it, I fear it might be me. Well, it's not going to be me, but it will be my favorite driver ever, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah, Evo, I don't know if you caught the Nürburgring race, because I had cut and pieced together that yellow flag during its duration, because I didn't want everybody to have to sit through all of that. You had gotten the free pass or the wave around at one point. And in the process of trying to catch back up, you then crashed under the yellow flag, well, you had already pitted, had to then pit again, didn't lose a lap and then had to catch back up again, and you did. But Joe Nemechek to lead lap 35. Yeah, well, Ash was in a very similar situation under that yellow at the Nürburgring. She crashed on her own, too. Sad part was, that was the crash that ended her day. Marlin at the front of the field. Still going strong, lap 37 here. Have we been in fuel save mode? Is that a possibility? 40 lap first fuel stint. Seems ridiculous. TJ takes the lead. Well, I worry. Well, actually, if you look back in the pack with Ash in the 47, it is actually Timo in the slightly dangerous position if you're thinking for the outcome of the 46 car here today. Everybody minding themselves thus far. It's going to be these two that spin each other on pit road, isn't it? Well, at least Evo's in front. Ever so slightly. Well, maybe not now. Warman jumps out of line. Might be trying to form a new third line. So far, no takers. Miss Airy thinking about it. She'll jump up there. Squid, I mean, it's how quickly it happens at the super speedways. Cars that we saw up front not all that long ago. All the way in the back of the field now. It's just this constant shuffle as the 19 is leading for the second time today. Yeah, hey, will we see a car get Space Force today? That likes to happen here on these super speedways. Ash has been a victim. Cars popping up in the air for no good reason at all. 3 wide from 11th on back. They're trying to get something working. Pastrana leading that third lane. He's got TV on our cars. "40 laps in." Until we see a pit stop, I'm going to sit here and think that I forgot to turn tire and fuel consumption on, but I never, ever changed that setting, so that would be a bizarre development. And there we go. The first taker is the 5 car, all by himself in Aiden. That is not what you want to see if you're the 5. So now we buckle up. Because this could be a real problem if this trend continues. Now, I thought we were already pushing it. So I would think we're going to see here in the next couple laps bigger groups of cars as we're 4 wide again. Might be that That group up on the high side are the ones that are not coming, and this time it's 4 or 5 cars coming down to the pit lane. The 35, the 34, the 19, the 40, and the 87. And mercifully, oh boy, I say that, Austin about turned himself off the bumper of Sterling Marlin. That does not happen. Hailie Deegan, your leader on lap 32. More cars still sitting up on the outside that most likely are not pitting this time. And the longer you go on, the longer you might risk running it empty. Which is a thing that does happen quite often. Seen it in just about every super speedway race that we've done. This time around, 5, 6, 7 cars. Deegan, Force, TJ, myself, Dale Jr., Ash, and TV on our cars. To the pit lane this time, and some slight problems on the pit lane. But more or less, everybody's going to be all right. That's why we're hanging on when these cars enter the pits. I don't want to have to go back and look at all of this stuff later. I want to see if we can't catch the problems when they happen, as I think somebody's either run out of gas or dropped the anchor far too soon. And now this is just a big old cluster. Jeff cuts off his teammate. Come on, everybody get into your pit stall. No problems. All right. Well, this group up here is still going, which is a good thing to see. Gotta feel like you gotta be coming this time, right? We already saw something a little bit goofy. Oh no, Oraman and Dale Jr., they're out of gas. Yellow is gonna come out, and it actually got called for us anyway. Well, we see the cost of running it out of gas, which 3 cars did. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the first to tow back to the pit lane. So he is rejoined. Red Wing's going to be pushing to try and get back up with this group. But the damage kind of done. Good chunk of cars under the yellow flag. When the yellow flag came out, did not pit when the pits were open. Caution came out, and that's what you see. That long line of cars got sent to the rear of the field for that. Couple of Toyotas at the front. Jordo, a previous Super Speedway winner. In fact, 2-time Super Speedway winner if you count Atlanta. And El Jefe, still searching for his first NASCAR Chat Series win. We will come to 13 laps to go in Stage 1 at TallaDEEGAN. So far, so good. Restart was a little clunky. Everybody really spread out, but back together again. Everybody that's... Well, so this is actually really interesting. Dale Jr. was the first to get back to the pit lane, but I guess he was also the first to run out of gas. He lost 3 laps in that whole ordeal, where Oraman and Red Wings only lost 2. That's a development. And for those cars, are they both here? Oh no, Red Wings is not, Oraman is very much not. But the good news for them is, for Red Wings in particular, because it does appear that he'll hold on for the first car 1 lap down and get one of those 2 laps back. That would be big. Oh wait, no we won't, because no stage caution. Haha! Well, it's even more painful than it otherwise would be, as El Jefe leads on lap 52. Alabama Crimson Tide 45, leading in Talladega, Alabama. Teammate in the 35, third in the middle lane. We are closing in on the end of stage 1, just 8 laps to go in it. 1 pit cycle, 1 yellow flag. The 3 cars stopped on the racetrack after running it out of gas. Always valuable stage points are up for grabs, which is going to be huge, possibly, because I do not see... I mean, the 55 could move up. He's all the way at the back of the pack right now. That's your points leader. Any points, especially for, you know, a guy like Lucas, even Hailie Deegan, who's holding on to top 10 position right now. So second and third in points right there. Close the gap a little bit if the 55 is to, or the 56 is to stay in the back of the field. For Lucas, those 10 points could certainly go a long way. But also a possibility, we got a good chunk of people up here that have never won a stage before. DJ in his 4th NASCAR Chat Series race, your current leader in the 45, and just dropped to the bottom. John Force has not yet won a stage. I don't think Austin's ever won a stage either. So, a couple of firsts. Possibility here. Looking 4 wide in the back of the pack. Pat's at least trying to. Got no help for a 4th line, and he was in top 10 position there for a little while. Still no movement from the 56 at the back of the field. Lucas leads. A fellow Ford driver, John Force, trying to get by. The inside line looks like it's really, really well put together right now. Just chugging along. Making it tough for that middle or even the slim outer lane to really get much momentum going, because they are just so put together. And they're not really losing a lot of cars. trying now. Some cars pulling out. Miss Airy might just help out that line led by Ken Schrader way in the back. Yeah, that line fizzled right out. Just 4 to go in the opening stage. Lucas holding strong. Can it continue for 4 more laps? I'm thinking not. John Force in that middle lane got a good push. He'll drop to the bottom. Caleb, myself, Timo Quentin. Timo in just his second NASCAR Chat Series race. He's obviously never won a stage before. And he might have a good opportunity to do so. The 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, 3 laps down, but up in the mix. Caleb leads, 3 to go. Shuffling has begun. Pat's starting to make moves. The 56 has joined that outer lane that just continues to find the momentum and push cars to the front. But don't count the 56 out of stage points just yet. Back here in 21st, but still a lot of time to get that momentum going. Oh, well, this could be a bit interesting. Catching the slow car of Oraman could break up this front of the field. Will everybody be able to make it around him, or is somebody gonna get pinned off? It's the inside line. And that changes some things. Doesn't change all that much. They recovered quite well. Caleb will drop back down to the bottom. 2 to go in this first stage. Brayton Laster. We are pizza. The front. And Dale Jr., I guess not much to fight for. He could get one of those laps back, but with no stage yellows, it's not really going to benefit him all that much. 1 to go. Coming to 1 to go in this opening stage, right? Yep. Brayton Laster, your leader. Gundy in the 28, who we have not hardly talked about. And look at this. Look at that, in fact. All the RFK cars that were lingering around in the back through the entirety of Stage 1 in Talladega that were so put together at Daytona. Now the first 3 cars in the outside lane, and Force is still hanging on to a top 10 spot. Not all that organized is that outer lane. A little bit of movement coming there. The 89 is going to pull out. Looking to make something happen, but there's nothing to be done there. Coming to the stripe to finish stage number 1. Brayton Laster, the pizza man, with his first stage victory. Big stuff for the 06. And a perfect car to do it in here at Talladega. Your stage 1 results: Brayton Laster, Caleb in 2nd, Timo Quentin 3rd, myself 4th, Gundy 5th, Miss Airy 6th, John Force 7th, TBNR cars, just that string of 4 straight RFK cars. Lucas 9th, and Pat picks up stage points in 10th. not so certain that would be a great idea anyway. You're just gonna hand me a couple of free laps led under caution, barring any pit stops. But yes, not a ton has changed since the first stage here at TallaDEEGAN ended. Brayton Laster has dropped back a couple of positions now. Second, third, kind of bouncing around. He's got TV on our cars on his outside. Nobody has done anything stupid while we were gone. I had to go downstairs. I got a pot roast going. Today felt like lazy, throw it in a crock pot and wait 6 hours type of day for dinner. Smells awesome, if you must know. Did I make a pot roast? I feel like I did that during another one of the races that we did. Maybe not. I don't know. Since we moved to this house, I don't know what it is. I just want to make that all the time. Grilled cheese. Grilled cheese slaps, man. Let's not pretend that it doesn't. Simple, but good. Well, I don't know. You would think it is not super common to fuck up grilled cheese. I have had some bad ones. I remember the first time I ever had somebody make me a grilled cheese and they put mayo on it. And I'm not a mayo hater, but it's just so bizarre. Like, it doesn't need to be there. I don't remember who did that, but I did have somebody make me a grilled cheese with mayonnaise on it before. I put mayo on a lot of sandwiches, but not a fucking grilled cheese. What are we doing here? My sticks are fire. Yeah, so I bought good dinner ingredients and also really fucking lazy dinner ingredients today. I guess, well, so I can't call a frozen pizza ingredients. It's a frozen pizza. The ingredients are already there. Somebody gonna come up and take the lead away from me, or am I just gonna sit here and ride it out for a while, rack up laps? Oh yeah, you're fine. Just don't put it back in the freezer. All right, let's have a discussion here, because I saw this. Not a little while ago on Twitter, it was a big trending thing. Where do we stand on washing your chicken? Because I know I have a very firm stance on it. But apparently there are some people out there that think that there's only one correct way to do it. I mean, there is. But what does everybody think about that? Unnecessary, okay. Car in Oraman, not your leader. Was Brayton Laster for a second, now me again. I am of the belief that yes, it's absolutely unnecessary, and it's actually probably. Why wouldn't you wash your chicken? You're just gonna fucking get nasty chicken germs all over the place. So the video that I saw was somebody fucking taking the vegetable sprayer from their kitchen, and they're sitting there just spraying nasty chicken juices all over their kitchen. Like your entire kitchen is now just a cross-contaminated bacteria city. First move of stage 2 to the pit lane while we're in the midst of this chicken discussion. $sign pitting by himself. See if some others. No! It is so unnecessary. You do not need to do that. You're on lap 71. Do we get another mass group pitting, or... $$sign might have just been a tad bit early. Which probably doesn't signal great things for his race. He's going to need a little bit of help. Help that I'm not so certain he's going to get. We do still have 2. We do still have rather 3 debris yellows to be used, but I don't know if anybody's sitting here trying to use one to help out the 32. Not even halfway through the race yet. I would think you might want to hold on to those and be a little bit selfish, and maybe you'll need one a little bit later in the day. Okay, so like we were talking about, we got the pot roast going downstairs. There's potatoes in there. I rinsed those. But those come from the literal dirt, so duh. Yeah, well, and let's be honest here, my diet doesn't consist of a lot of vegetables in the first place, but if it did, I would. In the rare occurrence of me actually making a salad or anything like that, absolutely. But raw meat that's gonna get cooked? No! In certain places, Evo was making his way back up to the front of the field. Stuck in that 4 wide mess. I'm just glad I haven't seen any of these cars yet go 5 wide. Yes. Well, yeah. That is indeed the case. It's a long race. We can't sit here and talk about NASCAR for like 3 hours straight. We need some downtime conversation here today, especially at a place like TallaDEEGAN here. The AI is not super aggressive. Not really a lot of incidents that are to be expected. So. Well, there's the 32. You knew it wasn't going to work out for him. I'm not certain if he didn't get it full on that first pit stop, and that's going to really hurt this inside lane. Well, maybe not. They honestly just kind of picked him up. Now, I'll slow him down a little bit, enough for TBNR cars to take that top spot away. But for how long? Dropping down there was not a good idea. He's going to get freight trained by maybe 2-3 cars. Bold call. Another lap lead for me. Now Hefe back to the front of the field. Red Wings in the 71. First car on the outside. He is multiple laps down. Just get chicken in a can? No. Okay. It depends on what I need it for. I'm not a big fan of canned chicken. Yeah. Canned meat is not a thing I generally go for. Which is a little bit strange, because, like, canned soup, I have no problem, but I don't know, there's just something about it that's just like, nah, I'd rather just make it. I'd rather just get some chicken or get some meat of any sort and actually just cook it. No! I've had spam exactly once in my life. And it's not even, okay, I don't think it's as bad as people truly say, you know, some people think that it is. But it is, no. Not for me. Oh, by himself. Another taker in the pit lane. And these Tricon cards are getting strategy all sorts of wrong. The 56, your Daytona 500 winner, Yo Gamer, makes his second pit stop of the day. Well, there's two other Tricon cars out there. One of them's leading the field, so it would certainly be a surprise to see him pit by himself from the lead. As now you'd think we're closing in on what the true pit window would be, especially with the one yellow flag that we did have after just about everybody had made their pit stops. Well, maybe not. Tricon might be trying to pull a fast one on everybody, but I really don't see it working out all that well. Okay, so yeah, generally, I will try and take something out a day or two before to, like, thaw it. Every so often, you gotta put it in some hot water, but I always do that, like, I'll put it in a bag. I don't just have it sit in the water. Like, I always take, like, a gallon, like, Ziploc and do it that way. 40 laps to go in stage 2. Stages here are mostly balanced. Stage 3 just ever so slightly longer to get us to that lap 188 total. It's been a crash-free race thus far here at TallaDEEGAN. The cars ran it out of gas. That's our only caution flag of the day. And then cooking frozen food it never turns out how you wanted it to. So instead, just try and speed thaw the rest of it. 56 gonna lose a lap and willing to bet it's gonna be pretty tough to get that back, which is really gonna be a great sight for the rest of the field to see. And another car we haven't talked about very much here all day. 17 of Miss Airy taking the lead for the first time. As RFK has moved their way to the front of the field, at least temporarily. Airy and Gundy matching up together there on the inside. As Jordo is taking the lead back in the 43. Pit stops! Well, yep, yet again, it's just one. And this time, the poor decision has been made by Caleb. At some point, we are going to get a good chunk of cars coming down the pit lane, right? Like, I think those debris cautions could very well be in play here if somebody here, if their car makes a bad decision, just call it and try and save yourself. Because to be approaching halfway and none have been used yet, I would think that people could be a little bit looser with them. That is TBNR Cars doing the same thing, pitting by himself. I get that the sim is not going to treat the teammates truly like teammates. But man, you got 3 of them. Pit together and you've got a shot. Not only that, all 3 RFK cars are on the bottom of the racetrack. Top 4 is buried back towards the back of the field. Gotta be coming here shortly for a lot of them. We know that caution helped us out. Here's, well, me from the lead. I'm not pitting by myself. Hey, look at this! It's the God Squad minus Caleb pitting together. Myself, Austin, and Jeff. Nice. Good job, guys. Well, at least somebody has pitted with somebody. The Orlando Magic have beaten the Detroit Pistons again. What a surprise. Orlando came to play. Pistons, 1 seed. Fuck it. Don't matter, I guess. Oh, big group of cars coming this time. All single file for the moment, so we hope that there's no problems. 8 cars pitting together, some of RFK. I don't know what Ash's doing there. She finally gets into her box. Looks like this group will pit without issue. Evo staying out for the moment. Remember, he was one of the last cars to come down the pits. That was in that yellow flag window while he got buried back in traffic. And yeah, we might get through all this without using a debris yellow, depending on what the rest of everybody does. This time around, Jordo Misseri, Ken Schrader, Red Wings, Oraman, Joe Nemechek, and Hailie Deegan down the pit lane, and well, they're all gonna sort it out, more or less. Wasn't exactly clean, but it worked. Well, as this pack dwindles down, a couple of these cars have already pitted, the 32, the 56. As this pack dwindles down, you got cars here that are probably gonna be pushing it on gas a little bit. Looks like Evo's gonna be staying out again. This time around, Lucas, Brayton Laster, Tony Kanaan, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Frankie Muniz, and Squid to the pit lane. That was really close in there, but yet again, we make it through. Good job, guys. Well, the problem with that strategy is where the start-finish line is here at Talladega. You might have led that last lap, but I don't know if you're going to lead another one. Evo will make it to the pit lane. It'll be him, Smee, Pat, Timo Quinton, and the 14 of D. Kuzmic, which leaves just 1 car on track that has not made a pit stop, a second pit stop yet. And we're going to go check him now that those guys are going to get through that, no problem. It is the 67 and winner last time out here at Talladega, Travis Pastrana. everybody else has pitted here. Well, some cars certainly got goofed up in all this. The 56, the 32. Pastrana's going to make it around to the pits, which means we will cycle through with no issues. Leading for the moment, or at least the on-track lead. 24, the 00, the 14, and the 3. They're going to get freight trained here, I would expect. coming around to lead at the halfway mark. The Jack Links 500 at TallaDEEGAN. Underwhelmingly, it's me. But the pack did mostly get back up together. The top 19 cars are all here. We'll check elsewhere out on track. 20th LW right. We got a small pack here. Picked up Boroman, laps down. In fact, last on the racetrack. Not good luck in super speedways. Finished last after an early incident at Daytona. LW right, Ash, DeviantArt cars, Aiden, Austin, and Squid in this group. Beyond that, Joe Nemechek, Sterling Marlin. It's all those single car pitters here. Which is, of course, not ideal. You're seeing the consequences of that now. At least they did all find each other. So, you know, you've got a little bit of hope there, but I guess it could be worse. You could be a lap down. You're going to need a little bit of help to get back up in the mix, but overall, could be a lot worse for these. Smee Staves, your leader, Pat in the 3. Well, while we were looking on from the drone cam, he got a run from hell from Travis Pastrana. Just freight trained 3-4 cars just about all by himself. We had a closer look in on this new 3 car as well. We might have already done this, but modern take on the 01 U.S. Army car that was in the NASCAR Cup Series for a good while. Of course, with Dale Earnhardt's number 3. So it's a black number 3 out here on track at TallaDEEGAN. Oh no, I didn't take one of the KFC logos off. I'll have to fix that. I think I took the one off on the other side. Maybe. I don't think we're gonna get to see it from this angle. Smee retakes the lead. You know, maybe we should just be in zoomed in cam all the time to get the true NASCAR on Fox experience. So you can hardly see what's going on. 33 cars out here on track. Guess what? Right now you get to see 2 of them. And one of them's Smee. Nobody wants that. 23 laps to go here in stage number 2. Stage 1 winner, Brayton Laster, is in this lead group, so still a chance for a very big day for the 06. There, just outside of stage points for the moment, but being in the stage points right now doesn't do you a whole lot of good because there's no stage points to be awarded here on lap 99. Maybe everybody's just gonna chill out again. That secondary group is losing a little bit of time, but not too much time that there's an imminent concern for any of you back there. You can ride it out, running a 5-6 car pack. If you want to use the debris caution a little bit later on to get yourself back up in it, then do that. But right now, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Long laps, 49, 50-second laps, so you're not really going to be in danger of going a lap down anytime soon. Biggest movers of the race, at least as we stand right now. Lucas is sitting 4th. He's up 26 places from his starting position, as is Jeff in 7th. And who might be the biggest loser of the day so far? That would be your pole sitter in Yo Gamer, who's back in 28th after the poorly timed pit stop. Lap 100 of 188. Coming to 20 to go in this second stage. Oh, what? We haven't done it yet. Might as well rank it up. Lap 104 from TallaDEEGAN. Pat, your leader in the 3, has been lingering around the front of the field for a good while now. Let's take a look at where, when this cycles around on the ticker again, that secondary group, since we last looked at it, it's lost about a second and a half. It's a slow burn that will be a problem eventually, but again, isn't a massive problem right now. I mean, honestly, if you're in that group, are you content to just kind of ride it out like this? Not a lot that can go wrong to you right here. And it looks like they're cycling, you know, through different cars leading this group just about every time we've looked at it. They're not going to be out front too long. Run a little bit slower. It might be okay. But the group that I would be concerned about, and there's only really one chatter in there that you would expect to do anything about it, that's Caleb, if he was here. I'd consider that debris yellow. But kind of much like the other group, they're behind, but not in imminent danger of losing a lap. It's going to be a while. 17 seconds off the front of the field. So it's a slow decline, but if you don't do something about it eventually, with no help and no incident yellows to speak of, other than no crashes again, to say. And no guarantee of them either, I would think. At some point, I want to do something. Has seen a good amount of cars lead for a while. Smee led for a good bit. I've faded back into the pack here, but same thing. Early parts of stage 2, my number 13 was out front. And even Pat here, he's cycled, he's led some laps. He's got some hope. Never thought we'd see the day, but we did indeed at the Nürburgring. The 38 of Hailie Deegan, and of all places, at the Green Hell, came away with the win. And then was so low on gas, didn't make it back to the pit lane with how long that Nürburgring 24-hour layout is. And then we got that lovely careless whisper moment at the end, in case you missed that. Dropping to the pit lane this time around is actually Miss Airy. That feels really quick, and I'm not so certain that I understand why you do that. I think Airy had something very similar happen at Daytona. Unless we missed something, I'm not quite sure I understand that. 8-second stop and back out onto the racetrack, but I don't get it. So take this lead group down to just 18 cars then. And even if you're trying an undercut or anything like that, pitting by yourself here at TallaDEEGAN, it is not worth it. All the cars that have done it are just kind of nowhere to be found. Now, with what we do expect... Oh! I wasn't expecting that! So we are going to come around, take 7 to go in Stage 2 of the Jack Links 500 at TallaDEEGAN. To my surprise, there were cars that stayed out. Now, 3rd and 4th here, Miss Airy and B. Dallasign, I'm not surprised. They had pitted and they were going to be in some trouble. They're now more or less on the same strategy as the rest of the field, outside of the 3 of Pat, the leader at the time of the yellow who stayed out, and Austin, who was in the back of the pack. Pat last pitted on lap 88. Austin on lap 84. We'll have enough to make it to the end of this stage, but not much else, as we are back to green at TallaDEEGAN with just 7 to go in Stage 2. Absolute chaos off the drop of the green flag. Yet again, some kind of lagging around from maybe 10th on back at the start. Front of the field gets really spread apart. And now we are 3 wide all the way around. And yes, indeed, if we do take a look back at Ash, 47, well, it was in the crosshairs. She's going to go and follow the 35 instead, which for your race is a great move. Nürburgring winner Hailie Deegan to the front of the field. TBNR Cars, who at one point in this stage had made the bizarre choice to pit by himself. But his race potentially was over. Not going to be the case. Up front for really the first time today is the 11 car of Tony Kanaan in second spot. In need of a big result. And the 24 of Evo has made his way back up towards the front as well. Feels like we are heading towards a disaster, aren't we? With how aggressive everybody is, looking to get those stage points here. Haven't seen us 3 wide this deep in a good while. And who would have thought? I mean, if you want to talk about the 2 people that debris yellow helped out more than anybody else, it's the 32 and the 17. Stayed on the lead lap prior to the yellow flag coming out, and the 32, albeit briefly, just led this race. But it's also good for guys like YoGamer back there in 23rd. All those cars that were maybe group of 10, 12 cars that were off sequence and in danger of eventually losing a lap. All right, back up here in the mix. It's still Oraman, Red Wings, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. cars that are a lap down. Not really much of a hope at this point of trying to get back on the lead lap. 3 to go in stage 2, D. Kuzmic up front, and look at Ash powering with Gundy, Red Wings, and the 56 of YoGamer. Well, you're moving to the front of the field, but at what cost here, Ash? Bringing the points leader right back up to score possible stage points. Ash has cracked the top 10. At least she had. Middle lane kind of losing steam, or the outer lane losing steam a little bit. Look at the inside line, though. 2 to go. This by 3 car lengths just blew right past the front 3 cars in that line. Just a rocket ship right there. Frankie Muniz gonna get around. Caleb's teammate in the 45 now gonna try to next, or they're all gonna drop down to the bottom. That's an interesting decision. It weakens that outer lane, but you can't do anything down there. You're more likely than not to get pinned. The car leading that outer lane now is Oraman, who is not on the lead lap. I suppose, well, again, no stage cautions. If you finish the stage, then maybe, but we have just 1 to go in this stage. Lucas and Frankie Muniz. Ash is in close behind, looking for a stage win. Well, and it might have just been handed to her, possibly. However, now the side lane needs to get things back going again, if that is to be the case. Lucas in the 10. Second in line on the inside, looking for a stage win. He'll pull back up to the outside. Might have screwed up Ash's plans. And as we come to the stripe, 46 losing some spots, holding on a little bit. At the line, Lucas wins the stage. Not his first stage win either. Let's see here. Actually, it might just be his first career stage win for the number 10 car. He's a race winner. I don't know if he's ever won a stage. At least I don't have him doing so. Stage 2 results, Lucas, Gundy, Frankie Muniz, TJ 4th. Yo Gamer did indeed get stage points in 5th. Timo Quentin 6th. Squid in 7th. Caleb in 8th. Ash 9th, and Pat for the second consecutive stage will finish in 10th. out of our obligatory stage 1 break to get up for a moment. Vidal aside, who again was really not looking like his race was going to go very well today. Saved by the debris yellow and given new life. He is your leader. John Force was out there. Now, during our break, Austin did make a move to the pit lane. That's that car you saw ever so slightly. They're going to be catching him here in the middle of turn 3 and 4, which is not good. Might just hand the lead to the 46 of Ash. However, 32 with a smart move to the outside. So it'll be that inside line that gets picked off. So come to the stripe to complete lap 128.32. No helpers. And it'll be Ash to lead the lap. Stage caution definitely worked out, or not the stage yellow, the debris yellow called by Ash. Definitely worked out in her favor. It was one of those cars that had gotten pinned deep into the field with some odd pit strategy or something. I don't know what it was, but 46 given new life. Eventually would have lost a lap, but did not. Tony Kanaan, LW right. And look who else is up here, 47. 46, 47 might have their eyes on each other here today, don't they? And we knew, by the way, that it was only a matter of time once we saw Austin go pad in the 3 to the pit lane. It was one of just 2 cars that stayed out during the debris yellow. Sun's starting to set just ever so slightly. This race will finish in some semblance of daylight. But this is a 3 o'clock start here at this race, so not surprising to see a little bit of yellow in the sky. 59 laps to go, just shy of the length of the first 2 stages. About to hit the 2-hour mark of the race. An hour 57 in. To now complete 130 laps. And then, so trying to figure out the pit strategy for the rest of the field, they all pitted, outside of a few stragglers, pitted on lap 111. So roughly 20 laps ago. So they are probably gonna be cutting it close, honestly, in terms of making it to the end of this race. Now, some yellow flag help could certainly make it so that you can make it to the end. However, I'm kind of fully expecting, especially given what we saw at Daytona with some funky pit strategy, I'm just almost positive somebody's going to use that debris yellow. Maybe 20 laps to go just to make sure you know everybody in this field can make it. Unless that's, of course, not what you want. If you'd rather chaos than shit, don't call it. I don't know. Yeah, that 111, lap 111 pit stop group. You know there's one more stop coming, and then you're going to be really close, I think, on fuel from that point. Without a little help in your favor. There's still 2 debris yellows to be used out here today. Shit pantses, so that's what your pit strategy was. You're here, you're in this lead group. The first car 1 lap down. Had a debris caution around just after lap 100. And for whatever reason, despite pitting about 20 laps prior and the entire rest of the field outside of a couple stragglers coming down the pit lane, you decided not to, so. Is that Pat I see? Take a look back to the front. Evo is your leader. And yes, it is Pat. He was one of the other ones that we knew got the strategy wrong I don't understand why you'd stay out in that situation. Let's see how they navigate the 3-car. I think Evo's going to get screwed here. Yep. 47 of Timo Quentin. 45 of TJ. Well, I mean, you know, they're slowed down a good bit here. Takes time to rebuild that momentum. Really, we haven't seen anybody get too screwed catching up to a lapped car. I would say the last thing Austin wants to see is a yellow flag. However, the free pass right now would actually go to Pat, who just did get lapped. Team Travis Pastrana to the front. You know, we are around about a month away from the Indianapolis 500. Of course, Smee was the winner of that race in iRacing last year, to the dismay of everybody. He'll be back in the field yet again. And if you have not given me a scheme for Indy for this year yet, please do that. The sooner I can get prepared for that, the better. Of course, it's gonna be a busy stretch. In around about three weeks' time, we'll have the All-Star race, which will be preceded by the All-Star Open, which is then going to be followed up very quickly by the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indy 500. May is certainly our busiest month when it does come to iRacing. All-Star race this year at Dover, which is a track that I should probably buy. I have not done that yet. After buying Las Vegas and the cars not being able to make it around there very good, I certainly hope that Dover works. It does scare me with the lap 111 pitters. You really got to stay out as long as you can. But, you know, we've seen it all year long, all of last year too. Sometimes you just pit way too early, and I don't think in the situation that those cars are in right now, it's going to be a very good idea. Fanning out just a little bit. Some cars thinking about making a third line. Still a little early to be thinking about those types of moves that you think are going to win you the race. Long way to go. A lot's going to happen before that point. While we have the chance, and we should just be able to run clean without pit stops here for a little bit. We'll head back to drone cam for a few laps. We still got Tigers baseball to play. I gotta save my voice a little bit. That link that I posted in chat should take you to the correct car, but it is the Dallara, rather, IR18. Only accepting paint schemes for that. Don't make me have to tell you that you picked the wrong car. So, that's why I put the specific link in there. It should take you right to where you need to go. And for anybody that might find this race, and specifically this part of the race, on YouTube, when this is all said and done, all you have to do to, for one, join the NASCAR chat series or our Indianapolis 500 is come on over to the Twitch chat. Link is always in the description on that. And come over here. If you just follow, you'll have more than enough points to, well, follow or watch for, you know, a tiny little bit of time. You'll have enough points to get redemptions for both. Those are purposely low at 1 channel point over here. Because eventually we would like to get the Travis Pastranas of the NASCAR chat series out of here. Have it be a full chat field. Still always going to be capped kind of right around 32, 33 cars. If we get any more additions, I do think we will have to start dropping IRL drivers. As you get above 35 cars, iRacing does get a little bit mad. I'll tell you who's helping out a good portion of the field right now. It's the 71. Not in the race, but leading the pack, which means burning more fuel than everybody else. Letting everybody behind you save fuel for the cars that are actually in this race. And, you know, I think a lot of them kind of need it. It's close, I still think. Without any yellows the rest of the way, I'm not sure we won't see cars run out if this stays green the remainder of the way. 44 laps to go from TallaDEEGAN. At this current moment in time, it's your Daytona 500 winner in the 56 Yo Gamer. It was his first NASCAR Chat Series win. He's going to get freight trained a little bit as Gundy in the 28 will take the top spot. And then yet again, we have, well, I was going to say we have the 4 car in front, another car multiple laps down, the lead for a little bit, and then Squid, with help from Ash, there's a bizarre sentence to say, push to the front. Maybe Ash and Squid have buried their hatchet a little bit. Remember those lap 111 pitters we've been seeing about 40 laps is when they start to make that move. We are closing in on that quickly. But you can't, at least I wouldn't think you could call a debris yellow in this spot and be okay. Honestly, just hope that you've saved enough fuel to this point to get that inside. I would get it much farther inside if I was going to call that yellow. Much farther than just right at that 40-lap cutoff. I'd play it certainly a lot more safe. You don't want to be Evo and not have enough to make it to the end, have to pit with just a few laps to go, as it so often happens to him. The next caution we do get might be a big one. It might save the race of either Austin or Pat. Pat, currently the first car 1 lap down and actually making his way back up to the front of the field. Austin's in that middle line 2, 4, 3 cars back of where Pat is right now. Well, we certainly made the right move with 0 faster pairs for this race. We haven't had an incident yet. Still, the only yellow flag, as Mike Joy would say, for true cause, not counting the debris, is Dale Jr., Red Wings, and Oraman running it out of gas. That's why they're in the spot that they are. Pat and Austin laps down due to some bad strategy. Didn't pay anywhere near the price that the others paid, but still no good. And each time we come around here out of turn 4, I think you got to start thinking about, are we going to see anybody cut down to the pit lane? It's not going to happen this time. And the back of the pack is just so unorganized right now. I would be worried if I was them about possibly losing the draft. Looked like Ash and Miss Airy had gotten together to get back up into this group. At least they were trying. Oh, where? Holy shit! Where the fuck did Ash come from? She passed half the pack in the time it took me to say that. Ash is fine. Don't worry about her. She's fine. With help from the 32, perhaps a little bit too much help. 46 was squirrely on the entry to 3 there. Evo's gonna jump up to help. Outer lane, a third line forming yet again. Well, for Caleb, it has happened again. It's the second time that he's done this today. Pitting all by himself on lap 150. No good. Front of the field, 2-time drafting track winner. Daytona 500 and Atlanta. It is the 43 of Jordo back to the front. 14 gonna get pushed by me. Sorry, Jordo. D. Kuzmic now to the front. This time out of 4. Certainly in that window. Didn't see anybody drop down. Oh, TB and our cars did. He pits by himself for the second time today. Can you make it to the end from this point forward? Yes. Should you use a debris caution to try and fill up? Maybe not. Because if you are to lead a bunch at the end of this race, you still might not have enough to make it. So I'd hold off a little while longer if that was going to be your plan. Another solo pitter this time around. It's Oraman. His race already essentially over, so we'll stay on the field. Couple of Fords in the top spot, pushed by Chevrolets. Brayton, last year's Stage 1 winner, will work his way back to the front. Certainly a lot of cars on the inside line. Feels like we're really closing in on a good chunk of these guys coming down. Dale Earnhardt Jr. made a move to the bottom. I wonder if he's thinking about coming this time. No takers. Ha! Not surprised. Well, I am, I guess, a little bit surprised to see that Austin has sent me a Pabst Blue Ribbon Delar. What did Dylan Dingler do last night? Oh, when I said his eyes need to be studied, he's just like an ABS wizard. Caleb about to get caught by this lead group. We need some help from this point on. And the fact that Pat, the first car lap down, is up here towards the front of the field. And we have our first mass pit stop. I say mass, it's 5 cars, but this is fine. Yo Gamer, no! Oh, the 71 of Red Wings, he did that to himself. Hopefully Ash doesn't have damage because of that. The 56 will come to his box. The 24 as well with no problems. No penalty on Ash for that. That was all the 71. TBNR Cars has been caught by the pack as well. So those cars pit with 35 laps to go. Can you make it to the end? Yes. Whoa, a bunch are coming down this time. This has a recipe for disaster right now. If they all make it into their box without wrecking each other, Hailie Deegan spins Smee in front of the 32 who had so much go wrong. And now Smee, one way or another, gets out of that and will get to his box. I think Hailie Deegan, that one I do think will be penalized because that was just a turn in and you actively turned somebody. You didn't turn yourself or anybody else. Whoa! What's going on with $sign here? Oh no! Screw the debris yellow! The caution is gonna come out all on its own. Well, you are looking at the car that by spinning Smee on pit road created chaos. Oh no, rather, spinning Smee, screwing the 32, which meant the 32 missed his box, then ran it out of gas on the track and caused, I don't even know how many cars to get damaged. Thank you to our Nürburgring winner, Hailie Deegan, for all of that. Absolute insanity caused by the 38. I don't even know if a forfeiture of qualifying position is enough on that because, wow. We have 24 cars on the lead lap right now. So many. I don't know. Green flag, we'll get into it. Thank you, Hailie Deegan. Coming around to very disappointingly lead lap 160. You guessed it. You're a lap down because of bad strategy. You stayed out while the entire rest of the field pitted and had to pit by herself. That would be why. Well, the cars that are still in this race with a chance to win it, I would say is our top 24. If Miss Airy got a little bit of help, or Austin or Pat, or any of those single cars a lap down, they might be all right. And mercifully, finally leaving the pits is the 46. Somehow not in last place, still in front of the 32. Another car that, you know, really had good days, bounced back from some shit. And the 38 made one bad decision that spiraled into ruining a good chunk of decent races. Which certainly means, with her up front here in the late going here at TallaDEEGAN, means that she will win. I think we all need to prepare ourselves for that possibility. I don't even know what the proper punishment for this is going to be for Deegan. I really don't know. Well, the moment of truth is arriving shortly. Now, Hailie Deegan is in the middle here, kind of all by herself for the time being, so as much as Ash wants to screw over Hailie Deegan's day, she's in a spot where she might come out on the plus side of this. Ash is riding in the middle of the racetrack, too. Watch Ash just drop anchor on Deegan here. Middle line was a little swirly. Here we go. Car's trying to navigate around. Ash gonna get past. And the 38 speeds right on by. So 23 to go at TallaDEEGAN. Two RFK cars side by side at the front of the field. Gundy looking for the first NASCAR Chat Series win, as well as teammate John Force. Austin is up here towards the front of the pack. He'd be the first car one lap down. Should a yellow come out. Evo right in behind. Up front again at a super speedway, chance to win it. El Jefe up front late. As unfortunate as everything was with Deegan, now we set our sights on looking for somebody that hasn't tasted NASCAR Chat Series victory yet, to hopefully try and get it done today. Perhaps a little bit earlier than you want to be in front, so if anybody does want to fuck over Hailie Deegan, you still have time before disaster strikes. This would hit like a SME win right here if the 38 were to get it done. Especially given who we have up there behind. Gundy, winless. Evo, winless in points-paying races. El Jefe in the 55 looking for his first NASCAR Chat Series win. Let it be anybody else as we come to the green. 18 laps to go. 1 debris caution left remaining, but very little time. Nope, it's within 10 to go. At least that's what the redemptions should say. 10 to go as the debris caution cutoff as we are back to green at TallaDEEGAN. Well, these restarts have been nothing but chaos today. It's really when everybody's been at their most aggressive. 3 wide, unsurprisingly, right off the drop of the green flag. Some cars that we would really like to see have good days are up there in the front. Deegan did indeed lose the lead off the restart, as expected. Back down into 5th, 3rd in line on the inside for now. We are 4 wide in some places. Get away with that at TallaDEEGAN. It's not as dangerous as, say, Daytona. And I am glad that we haven't seen anybody go 5 wide yet. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So the 71 that has made the move leads the pack. His day's done. Travis Pastrana in the 67 is up front late again. Dropping to the middle. Don't know if that's the smart move at this time. And Schrader moving around in the back of the pack. Well, I have no clue who's possibly going to win this thing. Probably until about 2-3 to go. Maybe even later. We've seen some crazy runs at times here today. So if you're in the top 10 with 1 lap to go, I think you got a shot. 71 of Red Wings, yet again pushed to the outside by John Force. 71. Shame for the 71 that it went the way that it did. Because that car's clearly got speed. I mean, it's been up front, but never when it mattered today. Gundy in the purple 28. That is your leader. And now it is Hailie Deegan again. 15 laps to go, and we're down the back straightaway. We've settled it out a good little bit here. Outer lane. Lost its momentum. Couple of cars. No, Force will head back to the bottom. El Jefe with a move from that bottom lane to go up and help the 28 car. I would say, I guess I don't really get the emphasis of passing the 71. It doesn't really matter. And, well, when we restart this race, we will have 9 laps to go to the end. We were within the cutoff window for the debris yellows anyway, but all 3 have been used. That accounts for 3 of our yellows. The first one early in the day, 3 cars running it out of gas. That one didn't cause a problem. And then the other, Hailie Deegan, spins somebody on pit road, causes them to miss their box. Out onto the racetrack to run it out of gas and screwed multiple cars. So we still don't know what's going to happen to the 38 after this race, but for the moment, she's still up there, she's still in it. Should an end-of-line penalty been given? Maybe. But something will occur. We just don't know what it is. So, like we said, 9 laps to go. Both the cars on the front row have never won a NASCAR Chat Series race despite being in all of them. Evo, 4th in line on the inside. He'd be looking for his first win. Muniz, Force, same deal. Timo Quinton in just his 2nd NASCAR Chat Series race. 4th in line on the outside lane. But if you're on the lead lap at this stage, you've got a chance as we head back to green for what is likely the final time at TallaDEEGAN. Coming to 8 laps to go, Frankie Muniz is your race leader with Hailie Deegan on the outside. And if that was the case, I mean, I wish there was a way to make it as automatic as soon as you redeem the caution. It comes out, field is frozen at the time you make that redemption. But I have to call it manually. So if something changes in there, it's not something I can entirely control. So, the one we don't want up front is up front, but with 8 laps to go, it's going to be hard to stay there. As we get that restart aggression that we've been seeing all day. Squid will jump out to that outer lane. TBNR Cars and Evo holding strong in the middle. Lucas, Joe Nemechek, Smee back there to help as the 24 is pushed to the front. How many times at these super speedways are we going to see the 24 up front late? This time, I don't even want to say it, just in case some absolute buffoonery happens. But there shouldn't be any late pit stops here. Now, we've had a lot of yellow flag running too, so there really shouldn't be. I thought everybody off of their last pit stop can make it to the end. And with how much disaster and chaos we've had here towards the end of this race, you know, it's hard to imagine that anybody will have to pit again. 6 laps to go. 2025 Darlington winner Squid is in the top spot. Evo bounces back to the outside. Deegan was looking to do the same, couldn't get in there, which could spell the end for Deegan's chances unless she's able to get to the outside. 24 back to the front. A lot of cars up here that would be looking for their first ever win. Squid and Deegan and Pastrana are some of the only ones that aren't. 5 to go from TallaDEEGAN. For as bad as we feel for Evo never getting it done in a points race, he has won 2 non-points paying races. Last year's All-Star race and this year's Budweiser shootout, dating back to that Mazda series, won the finale when it just didn't matter anymore. So far out of the points, might as well not have paid points at all. To the lead goes Squid again. Evo's gonna pop back up to the outside. Wants it back. You can't get pinned down to the bottom here. shuffling like that, it's going to be the 24's best chance. Really, any one of those front 4 or 5 cars got to get at least to that middle lane to have a prayer. 4 laps to go in just his second, or rather 4th, NASCAR Chat Series event. TJ is up here with a chance to win. That's the Alabama Crimson Tide car. Front 3 breaking away a little bit here, which might actually be disaster. Deegan and everybody got strong runs. Field broken up a little bit. Coming to 3 laps to go this time by. The 24 and the 45 getting way too far out in front. That just can't stand. Whoa! Lucas got bounced out of line in the back. 3 to go. We are not done yet. Evo's going to kind of get hung out to dry here. Everybody moves up from the bottom to freight train the 24. 45 to lead, drops to the bottom, gives the advantage yet again to Hailie Deegan. Now, being out in front with 2 laps to go here, if you don't want Deegan to win, which I don't think anybody does at this stage, that's a good thing to see. Deegan will take the 2 to go. Not a lot of momentum going on right now from any of the 2 lanes, but here comes that outer lane back a little bit as Deegan holds point for the time being. 45 can't slide up from the bottom. Now that middle lane might get a little bit of a run as we are down the back straightaway. A lap and a half to go from Deegan. And all that chaos is kind of settled out. We're all just kind of riding around right now, which is not good. Now, bottom lane lost a little traction. Now we see some moves. 3 wide at the front of the field. Deegan's got help. Everybody's got help behind them. 1 lap to go from TallaDEEGAN. It's the 24 car that will take it. Pushed by Squid. 3 wide at the front. I worry about that outside lane and their capabilities here to really make a run. Now Pastrana's joining that outer lane. Gotta get a run going. Into 3 and 4 for the last time. Evo to the middle. Gonna need a push. Hailie Deegan might just steal this thing away. Out of turn 4. Squid in the 1 is coming hard, but does he have enough time? At the line at TallaDEEGAN, and I believe Hailie Deegan has done what nobody else has ever done in the NASCAR Chat Series, and that is win back-to-back races. And the way that she did it is pain. Unreal. Hailie Deegan, in the span of just 2 races, becomes a multi-time NASCAR Chat Series winner. Top 10 is Deegan, Squid, Gundy finishes 3rd, Muniz in 4th, Pastrana 5th. Joe Nemechek with a much-needed good finish here today. Evo 7th, Lucas 8th, John Force 9th, and Smee rounds out your top 10 as Hailie Deegan somehow wins it. Well, now that we're through all that, what else is there to say? Hailie Deegan certainly went with the Travis Pastrana last year at Homestead type of route for a win. Remember when Pastrana essentially just punted everybody driving that Roush 60 car and found a way to get it done. Hailie Deegan has won 2 consecutive points-paying races. As we head in, next time out for the NASCAR Chat Series, we will be in a non-points-paying race. The All-Star Open will be the next time that you see these cars on track, followed the next day by the All-Star Race, Coca-Cola 600. Not too long after that, but Hailie Deegan, by not all that much, is going to win it at TallaDEEGA for her second NASCAR Chat Series win.